Tonight, we take you back to a Western, but it's not really a Western because there's an awful lot of ghosts. And we bring back a classic Tony Curtis movie, but I think old Tony wouldn't be real happy with this one. Plus, a lot of surprises, including what has happened to Rex Rio. All that and a whole lot more. A cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to say that I believe this will be the last show that I have to bring you from the confines of my home. Rehabilitation is going rather well, and I think I'll be able to head back into the studio and be among the living once again for the next episode. So that will certainly be a good thing. Some folks have asked questions. Hey, what is happening to Rex Rio? We haven't seen him for a while. Well, we had a little problem with the time machine that brings Rex to us on the reviews, and coincidentally, it coincided with my medical emergency. So go figure how these things work. But I'm happy to report that all is coming back online again, and Rex is back with us. Of course, you can see him exclusively on the online reviews. That'll be both on Facebook and on YouTube and on Rumble. And geez, we're on a MeWe, Gab, Parler, even LinkedIn. So we're on a gang of them, and you can eyeball Rex. He is back in all his found glory. All right, let's get right into the meat and potatoes of tonight's show, shall we? You know, this is another one of those movies that the plot really had some potential to make this a decent view, but the preaching kind of came on, and wow, it ends up being a really bad Sunday sermon. The movie I'm talking about is a movie called The Burial. And what we have here is a story about Brian. He's played by Vernon Taylor, and he lives a pretty close to idyllic life with Molly, his girlfriend, and she's played by Faith Kearns. They're even talking about, making the lifelong commitment and getting married. But into every comfortable life, certainly a troublesome sibling must occasionally fall, and that is Keith, who is played by Spencer Whitesell. Now, Keith is an alcoholic, and he manages to submerge himself in the deepest of misadventures, but he knows that, if push comes to shove, Brian is always there to help bail him out. Well, the two brothers attempt to help each other out this one last time, but they're stymied by Molly, who wants to come along to make sure there's no shenanigans. Of course, the woman sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. And then compounded with this is a forest spirit who has a very odd sense of justice. This movie was written, directed, edited, and scored, yes, he even wrote the music, by Michael Escalante. The Burial comes from the fine folks at Terror Films, and it offers a few minor thrills along the way. The drawback is it has one of those open-ended conclusions. That's usually the bane of most independent films. Here's a look at The Burial.
Who was that?
That was my brother, and I haven't told you much about him.
Everybody's family has problems.
He's an alcoholic. He specifically asked me to come alone. Thank you for coming. He's probably not even going to be himself. He will find new ways of getting into trouble.
It does seem like it can get really scary out there.
Just don't stay out too late. It's going to get dark soon.
Yeah, why are we here, Keith?
Trust me.
Where are we going? What is this?
You didn't get far.
What did you do?
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to call.
It was an accident, right? You gotta call the cops. You wanted to bury him? I'm never talking to you again after this.
Hello? Did something happen last night?
What'd you do to the car, Keith?
Ever since I've been here, I felt like I was being watched.
Does anyone else live around here? I feel like I'm hearing things.
Stay inside. We're coming back right now.
We've never met. Think I was dead. I could bear just about anything.
We know what used to happen here.
I killed the man that's outside. I don't know how he's back.
Why didn't you tell me?
I never wanted you to come here.
You want to know what happens next?
We stick together.
I am what you think I am. All she did was kiss the wrong person.
There is no stopping what's coming.
Say, I told you in the teaser that we were going to go do a Western, but throw some ghosts in there. And appropriately, the movie is called Ghost Town. If you take all of the trivial tropes from ghost stories and then blend them with the rather tired themes from Westerns, you'll have Ghost Town. This film is really poor. The acting is B-level at best, and the crew is really not much better. The entire movie makes absolutely no sense and offers a rather lame explanation as a conclusion. This stars Eva Hamilton, Becky Jo Harris, and Robert Sprayberry. This one is best left buried at 2 a.m. on some kind of obscure streaming channel. Here's a peek.
Folks from all parts of the world rode through here. Now we're all but a ghost town.
Solomon Miller. Innkeep down the way said you was looking for extra hands.
Welcome aboard.
There's something out there. Like a howl, like nothing natural.
There's a foul air abouts.
The people of this town, they linger.
Open your heart to the Lord and he will respond.
No, we won't.
What's happening here? What's wrong with these people?
You've lost your mind.
All right, our next film in our opening hat trick, if you will, is End of Loyalty. This is the directorial debut of Hiroshi Katagiri. Now, he made his reputation in Tinseltown as a special effects technician. And unfortunately, he begins his career as a director in a film that has very little special effects. Go figure, right? This movie stars Braxton Angle, Justice Johnson, Simon Phillips, Sho Ikushima, Vernon Wells, and Michael Perry. There's two names you should recognize. This movie comes from Uncorked, and that makes sense since Vernon Wells and Michael Perry seem to have a nice little contract gig going with the folks at Uncorked. It's really an average thriller at best. It concerns two brothers, one who is a cop and the other one belongs to a mob. This is pretty much a standard template. And you have additional added conflicts because there is a daughter and a father thrown into the mix. Havro Matsuoka has choreographed the action sequences, and he either doesn't know what he's doing, though I doubt that, or he was saddled with a group of action stars who couldn't fight their way out of the proverbial paper bag. I believe that is more of what's going on here. Director of photography, Robert Toth, shoots the action sequences and interrupts the movements in midstream, probably because the actors couldn't pull them off, and it really leaves it up to the audience to complete the fight sequences. That's really not good at all. Here's hoping that Hiroshi has a much better troop of fighters for his next flick.
48 hours ago, I had a shipment coming to these docks.
So why are we here, Rooker?
I think the agreement that we had is not very equitable the way I see it.
Are you a cop? The infamous Ray Rose, is it?
The one and only. Look, I'm sorry about Carmine. Pop said too you were getting close again.
His first order of business is to find the people that killed his father.
We've got a score to settle and it isn't going to settle itself.
Besides Jada, you are the only family I have left.
Uncle Ray Ray's here, huh?
You know if this escalates, it's going to end bad for everyone involved.
Stop wasting your breath trying to get us to stand down, because it's not happening. My father's killer, he's going to be dead before the sun goes down.
Say, we've got a remake of kind of a remake of a Tony Curtis classic film coming up. Plus, I got some news about Jon Bernthal. He's returning to a very popular role. Let you know who the best editors of the year were, and I'm going to give you a free movie. All that and a whole lot more when Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. So we certainly want to say thanks to our sponsor, House of Perusa, Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. And if you made it down to their St. Patrick's Day celebration, then I don't have to tell you, you had a great time. There was great food, great drink, certainly great cigars, fun, games, lots of things to win and give away. It was a great time was had by all. And more things are coming. But now, in between events, this is a great time to go to the other side of the building and visit the barbershop. You can style and profile, look in your best, so the ladies will notice. Sam will take real good care of you. And they have a line of products, which is from the national brand like Rothler, all the way down to locally made brands of beard oil, aftershaves, hair care products, anything you could possibly need is there, and it's top quality. Give Sam a call today. Tell him I sent you down there. He'll take real good care of you. Look and feel their absolute best. They have some great programs down there. I mean, you'd be in that chair for a while, but you're going to come out feeling absolutely marvelous. That's the House of Perusa, Barbershop and Cigar Lounge. It's located at the corner of Drake Road and South Park Road. Make your appointment today. Welcome back to Outtakes with Rex Reel. We have that remake of the classic Tony Curtis movie coming up for you. But first, I want to give you a movie. Yeah, it's really that simple. Now, I've given away movies before in the past, and they've been full-length movies that you had to either call in or whatever to win and add to your video collection. This one is even easier. This is a short film. It's eerie. Okay, this is really kind of bizarre. It's called Esther. And the folks who have put this thing together have given me permission to allow all of you, all viewers of Outtakes with Rex Reel, to watch this movie free of charge. Now, down below here, we're going to pump up a URL for you. Go to this URL and you'll be able to watch the movie for free. It's not long. It's a short film. And I think you'll find it kind of creepy enough to entertain you. Name me another show dealing with movies, Hollywood and the stars, that gives away free movies like this. You can't, because there aren't any. That's right. It's your professor taking care of his students. Free movie. Here's the URL. Plug it on in on your computer, laptop, phone, notepad, whatever. Tablet, I guess they call them now. And you can watch this movie absolutely for free. It's called Esther. Enjoy. All right, I've been telling you about this Tony Curtis movie that they remade, and that is The Boston Strangler. Remember when Tony Curtis made this? Yeah, it was actually a pretty decent film. Well, folks, I've said this before, I'll say it again. There is danger when you try to change history to accommodate an agenda. Never good. And this is a major drawback with the new version of The Boston Strangler. It comes from 20th Century Fox, and it is currently playing on Hulu. They didn't release it in theaters. I think they knew they were going to have a problem with it. Now, for those of you who are in my age bracket, or those of you who simply love movies and like to watch some of the older stuff, you'll recall The Boston Strangler was a movie made with Tony Curtis in the lead role. This film was very popular at the time. It was based on a book about the Boston Strangler, and probably one of the big criticisms was that it deviated a lot from the book to make it a little bit more dramatic and to play into the strengths of Tony Curtis and his cast. The history of this whole thing is that back in the day when this was being covered, it was being covered by, the regular reporters in the Boston area, but there were two female reporters who kind of finagled their way in with their editor so that they could get a piece of the action, if you will. And they wrote a 4-article series on the Boston Strangler. That's all it was. 4 articles. That's what happened in real life, but not in this movie. No. In this movie, they are crusading reporters who fought the good old boy establishment reporter club, and they wrote a series of scathing reports, front page stories no less, that eventually led to the capture of the killer. But this is not what happened, okay? but this is what happens in this version of the movie, because we need to promote the women war. Oh my God, here we go. Writer-director Matt Ruskin changes history to fit the narrative of the strong and powerful woman prevalent in today's Hollywood. Here's a look now at The Boston Strangler.
The city is for some glamorous, stimulating, prosperous. Only recently has it become dangerous.
Jack, I think I found something. 3 women were strangled over the last 2 weeks.
You're on the lifestyle desk. You're not covering a homicide.
I think the murders are connected.
Another woman was strangled. Just came over the wire.
I'm killed in the follow-up. You don't have a story.
How many women have to die before it's a story?
They just confirmed number 4.
Police aren't talking. Never seen them this tight-lipped about anything.
I don't care if it's 1 killer or 4. We're gonna catch whoever did this. Do you have any suspects?
Boston police, hands on the wall.
We had him. We just let him walk away.
Everything lines up with him. His history, the progression of the crimes, everything.
You know how many people I've gone down the rabbit hole with? It's a dead end every time with this case.
What do you think you're gonna find out there?
When is this gonna stop, Loretta?
I need you to call in a favor.
Be quick. I don't want to get fired tonight.
Any lawyer worth a dime would pick this apart.
You really want to use this paper to tear down the police department?
If anyone else was blowing it this badly, we'd have put it on the front page a long time ago.
I need you to take down an address. If I don't call back in an hour, give it to the police.
Loretta.
There's more than one lunatic out there, and you're gonna get us both killed.
A safe little world is just delusion.
All right, so there's a little look at the movie. Keira Knightley, who really excels, if you will, in playing oppressed women, teams up with Carrie Coon. They play the intrepid reporters. Alessandro Nivola and Chris Cooper also appear in the cast. Akira's character, who is Loretta McLaughlin, at one point, it explains toward the end of the movie that because she wrote these articles about the Boston Strangler, that she lost her marriage and even lost her family due to her reporting. And yet the movie tries to make it so that she is praised for this because her reporting on the Boston Strangler was more important than her husband and her kids. If that signifies a strong woman, Hollywood is really on the wrong page. I would stick with the Tony Curtis version. If I were you, it may be dramatized heavily, but at least it doesn't shove an agenda down the viewer's throat. Hey, there's a lot been happening in Hollywood, so let me shoot straight ahead and tell you that Jon Bernthal is coming back as the Punisher, and he will do this in the rebooted version of Daredevil. There's a lot of skepticism about this. First off, Daredevil was on Netflix, and boy, it was picking up an awful lot of notoriety and going really, really well. In fact, in episode 2, everybody knows what I'm talking about now. There's a fight scene in a hallway, which is a one-camera shoot, and it is excellent cinematography. It truly is. In fact, back in the day when I was teaching, I used to use this segment as for the one uninterrupted shot sequence. Yeah, it was that good. Okay. So Disney buys out Marvel, and right away they tell Netflix, you can't have Daredevil. They pick it up, and everybody immediately thinks, well, that's it. Disney's going to screw this up, just like it screwed up everything else. Well, they brought back Charlie. They brought back Vincent D'Onofrio to play Kingpin. And now they're bringing back Jon Bernthal to play the Punisher, because in season 2, those two really played well off of each other. The problem is that they're taking the story from Frank Miller's penning of Daredevil back in 1986. And in that storyline, the Punisher didn't appear. So there's a question as to how Punisher is going to be worked in. And there's still the question of whether or not Disney is going to wokeify, if you will, Daredevil, which most people certainly don't. Now, while we're talking about superheroes, let me tell you that recently a new director of DCU, James Gunn, came out, and he was all in a tizzy because somebody online mentioned about his changing characters from black to white, male to female, trans, and all this happy. And he was so outraged, and so it's all fake. All right. Even the story that he was upset with is fake. All right. So it was just, pardon me, a studio hype. Don't put any stock into it. It's not going to be there. Eddie Hamilton is a name you probably don't know, but I want to say kudos to him. And the same thing for Paul Rogers. They are editors. Eddie Hamilton edited Top Gun Maverick, and Paul Rogers edited Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. As you know, that movie won the Best Picture for the Oscars this year, and I don't think it would have without the work of Paul Rogers on that. So those were given out in the ACE Awards, the American Cinematography and Editors, and those folks certainly deserve their awards. They won for Best Picture, and kudos to both of those gentlemen. Hey, let's get back to some movie reviews, shall we? I have always said, and my students will repeat verbatim, the man who says more and less is the better man. Look no further than the movie Cram. It's written, directed, and edited by Abby Sidwell, and it's 45 minutes long. That's it. Anybody who has attended college knows there is the age-old dilemma of having to write that final paper for a course in order to get your grade. And you think if you go ahead, pardon me, and try to get this thing done, it just might kill you. Well, in this movie, it does. John Dominio and Brandon Burton star in this film that isn't really particularly innovative or entertaining, but it is short and it ends quickly. Here's a look at Cram.
Hey, what's up? No, I'm not ignoring your calls, Mom. I'm working. I can't write this entire paper and read this whole book tonight.
Alice, give me your paper.
I did the reading, dude. Do your own work. I know you're going through something, but you won't talk to us about it, and you've been kind of projecting your...
You said you had a better study drug than Adderall.
Just cram, man.
Then I won't learn anything.
Then I won't learn anything.
Alice, I swear this time it's different, okay? Somebody in the library is messing with me. Hello?
What's going on?
Someone took my work.
Are you okay?
It's more like a psychotic break.
'Twas a twisted way which brought thee hither.
We're going to try to stick one more in here for you. This movie is called Blood-Covered Chocolate. They say that when you're a writer, you should write about what you know, and the same goes for if you're a director and you're making a movie. Well, Monty Light, who is the writer, editor, and director of Blood-Covered Chocolate, knows drug addiction. Therefore, he has a hodgepodge of hallucinogens and vampirism all mixed into this movie. Our director of photography is Neil Tyler, and he keeps the viewer engaged by alternating with, pardon me, really no discernible reason why between black and white, color, and tints. It's enough to keep your eyeball on it. The cinematography makes it compelling to watch, but the ending is a major letdown, and the acting, even though they went through the SAG-AFTRA folks, it's just passable at best. Michael Klug, Christine Yen, Megan Smith, and Joe Altieri star in this one. It's really not a vampire tale, and it's really not a drug tale, though it preys off of both genres. You really can't hide a weak script with camera ploys, but this one tries.
Happy second birthday to you.
Sounds like something out of Alice in Wonderland. The day you were born and the day you got clean.
Here's the newborn.
You know, your blood is as good as gold to me.
Sweet like honey flowing. Sweet like blood and chocolate.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for tonight. Good to be back with you, and hopefully for the next show, I will see you back in the studio. Now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.